I am excited to be here today with
All
Mr.
right.
John Barnes, and he wears a couple different hats that I'm going to let him talk about. But in this Goldsboro community, John has been an early adopter and a leader in the transition to clean energy. And for a moment, I just want to turn it over, John, so you can
Okay.
tell folks what you do.
Okay. Thanks, Laura. I'm John Barnes. I'm the CEO of Rebuilding Broken Places CDC here in Goldsboro, North Carolina. I also serve as deacon at Greenlee Christian Church. Greenlee Christian Church been in this community for over 138 years. It's always been a leader in the community and being active in activism and doing making sure that things are right in the community. One of the things that the church has always wanted to do is to provide ministries outside the walls of the church. And that's how Rebuilding Broken Places was all started. The church, over a time, put $1.2 million of its money and financing to make sure that Rebuilding Broken Places has a place. So it purchased a 22,000 square foot building that was been empty for over 30 years. Now it's a fairly good sized facility that houses child care, after school programs, community gardens. We have a community lab and various other ministries. But the church also, and Rebuilding Broken Place also wanted to do something of an imprint as far as the climate change and so forth, a lot like that. And solar was an idea that came up, but financing and all things like that was difficult, especially for a church and for a nonprofit who did not have resources to do this funding. And we looked at it for a couple of years. And then finally, through emails, someone suggested lcombs, which was a godsend.
So, y'all are some of our early adopters and leasing clients.
Mhm.
And that process might have seemed, it was unfamiliar.
Mhm.
What would you say to folks who are thinking about getting involved or exploring solar for their faith congregation, for their nonprofit, as far as the unknowns? And did it play out like you thought it would, or was it easier? How did the process feel to you? Because you really hadn't been through it.
Well, no, we had, but the process was made easier because Eagle Solar, along with Laura, they laid everything out easily to understand and easily to read. They help you understand, okay, what the costs are going to be, what your savings is going to be, and then what the bottom line is. And we have at Rebuilding, I know the last 2 months we had a zero light bill. Well, we didn't have to pay any money. And then in some months it was less than what we had normally paid. So it has helped. Uh, and it's one of the things where you look at the paperwork and it's, and that's what you're gonna have to go by is the paperwork because she does it real simple year by year and it's easily to understand. So I hope so if you look at the paperwork, even without the first time we ever did a lease, we looked at it and we looked at the paperwork, the numbers look good. And so that's how we determined, okay, we can go with this. And the bottom line is, and also with the installation of solar and with your lease payments, anything that goes wrong is covered in your lease. So you're not going to come out and pay additional money and have something repair or anything of that nature.
So has the solar installation met your expectations?
It has. It has. In some instances, it has exceeded it, but it has met our expectation. Matter of fact, we're running a graph, not a graph, but a spreadsheet where we put down what we have paid versus what Duke's charging and lease payment, and at the end, it should balance out where we have those savings that are indicated in the lease.
Wonderful. We've been working on other projects as well, just trying to figure out additional funding opportunities to bring in some battery storage, create
that would be
yeah. Would you like to talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, the battery storage will be ideal because what I think the way it works now, is they going to Duke's grid and Duke's keeping it, and it doesn't carry over. Whereas if we had battery storage, it would go in our battery, and then it's ours. So that's something that we hopefully some grant money, that's something that comes along, because I think it's not that cheap to get it installed. But that would be the ideal thing there, is to have that battery storage.
And it's really exciting right now. More conversation later, but there's some new battery resources.
Okay.
We're getting pricing on them.
Okay.
It's an exciting time technologically.
Okay.
So hopefully, we'll find some solutions and get to work on that. Because for me, as a urban planner, climate resilience centers have been on my mind for since I started solar, even before. And y'all are the first community that was open to figuring out how to do that. And that I've worked with.
Right.
And I'm hopeful that we will, find some solutions there. And then, to have Goldsboro be this location that has really embraced clean energy and, trying to provide those safe places for residents when the grid goes down. So I'm excited to be continuing to try and find a solution with you on that.
Well, with that, we're all excited about it too, because like I said, it is a good resource, and being a resiliency hub is something that we definitely would like to end up doing.
Is there anything else, any last thoughts you want to say to folks who might be hesitant? We've got federal incentives coming. There are some foundation grants, different types of grants, federally, low interest loans. Anything you want to say to encourage people who might be hesitant?
If you have thought about the idea of it, and it's not, and you're hesitant, give Laura a call.
Goodness.
You give her a call, give her a text, or whatever. You can text me, call me at my office, and I'll get in contact with Laura, and she'll get in contact with you, because you won't know until you look into it. I mean, you can think about it, but it's not going to cost you a cent to go ahead and say, okay, Laura, this is my organization. This is what I want. What can you do? And she will work with you and determine what can happen, what cannot happen. And then you will know. You won't go away thinking that you can't do it, and then find out that you can't do it. So you need to contact Laura and find out.
Great, thank you.
That's it.
That's great.